Patrick, can you read the letter you wrote to your organ donor?
My name is Patrick, and I was chosen to receive a liver transplant. Thank you. I am forever grateful for the gift of life you have honored me with. I remember this one, Santa Cruz.
It's when I had longer hair that had color in it. You used to look younger. So did I.
I grew up as a military kid, so we lived everywhere, and we always lived in an Air Force base. And so I was fascinated with airplanes. I always knew I wanted to work for an airline, too. And so I found an airline school in Oakland, moved up here and got an apartment, and then I got run. That's the transition of how it happened, yeah. In February of '92, I started noticing welts on my legs. And I thought, something's wrong. They started testing me and finding out that my liver was going bad. We went to the doctor. It was a doctor I'd never worked with before.
He looked at his record
He
and
said,
saw that.
why do you keep coming in? I said, we don't transplant for hepatitis B. You need to quit coming in. You need to go home and die.
Occasionally we'd have a pity party.
We would cry a little while. He'd cry with me. I would tell him I was going to miss him. And he should be strong. And then we'd get over it. And we'd laugh. And then we'd go fix dinner. Because that's what you're supposed to do.
You just adjust and change and do what you need to do.
He was never afraid of it. When it was time to step up, he stepped up. He likes that. He stepped up. He took care of me when I needed taking care of.
And then, like that, they changed their protocol and allowed hepatitis B to be transplanted. And all of a sudden, he's in surgery.
When you get a new liver, you feel
Everything changes.
so good. I remember doing a Tom Cruise move from Risky Business. I slid out in the hall in my socks with a pole with me.
Really amazing.
I got a chance to live again.
So afterwards, everything got back to normal. Thank you very much. We're able to do more together and get on a plane and go someplace. Or
Have a great time.
how long ago did we come here, Pat?
We probably sat at every table here.
The best part was Pat was working and he liked what he did.
I'm a flight attendant at Delta. I've been doing it a long time and I still have a good time. 22 years after the transplant, we had been to Maui, and so I thought I had a tan. And apparently I was getting a little jaundiced. And the doctor said, your lab numbers are trending in the wrong direction.
Christmas morning, I guess it was, all I can hear is the toilets flushing over and over, and I thought, what the heck is this? And I get up and go in there, and he's just standing there flushing the toilet. And I thought, is he having a stroke? And so we called the ambulance.
And woke up in the hospital, scared to death, had no idea where I was, what was going on. And the doctors finally said, you're gonna need another transplant. A second transplant's more complicated, and a transplant list in California is huge.
And they told us that by the time he would be sick enough to reach the point where you could get a liver, he might be too sick to operate on, and you might want to look around. We looked every place. We went home.
We went on the internet.
We went on the internet.
Then I called Optum, and they assigned me a coordinator, Audrey.
Right from the first time that I spoke to him, I could see that he was going to do anything and everything possible to survive, to live.
She and I worked together, and
She took care of everything.
she explained
And
the
she knew what
process.
she was doing. She spoke our language. She wasn't just a clerk. She was really great.
She was a friend.
After reviewing Patrick's case, I recommended the Optum network of transplant centers of excellence. I pulled up several different facilities that actually tended to transplant a lot sooner.
And so we started contacting hospitals, and if I wanted to go to Kansas City instead of Vanderbilt, Audrey said, no problem, I'll make sure it happens.
Over the next 6 weeks, we had approved Patrick at 6 different facilities to be evaluated and to be listed.
After seeing my information, for whatever reason, some of them backed out. Audrey said, try Indiana. And so I called Delta and I said, I need to take off, and they stood behind me all the way. And so we flew to Indiana.
Met with the head of surgery, and he said, well, I know you're looking around. Says, well, stop looking and just come here. I thought, wow, he was so confident.
He was very confident.
And what Pat was having was a retransplant. Not just an initial transplant, but a retransplant. And some places are not so sure about doing a retransplant. Well, he was confident as can be about doing this retransplant. And so we flew home, and what happened?
I said, Ron, we're leaving tomorrow. we got in the car the very next day. And then just a couple of days later, the phone rang and they said, we have an offer for you. We got to the hospital.
We were there with a whole bunch of people who were having different kinds of transplants. So, you know, a kidney over here, a pancreas over here, but we're not sure we're gonna get the liver because he was the backup.
I was the backup. A couple of times they said, you're going, and they'd bring a wheelchair, and they'd almost get me to the door, and then we'd turn around and come back.
And you're waiting.
And Ron didn't bring his medicine to the hospital with
I
him.
didn't expect to be there that long.
So I said, Ron, go to the hotel and get your pills. And then they rolled the wheelchair in right after he left. And I need Ron there, because we do everything together. And so I felt a little afraid, because you don't know if you're gonna wake up or not. After the transplant, of course, Ron came in the room. I called my mom, and then I called Audrey. She needed to... She needed to know, because she was my buddy, and she helped me make it turn out. When she, I think, cried a little bit too.
I feel blessed. I feel blessed to know him. I've never had a chance at all to meet him, but feel like I know him, feel like he's a family member, and feel as if I have known him all along.
You'd never believe it, but I never got to meet Audrey.
Patrick,
Hi.
I'm Audrey.
Oh, Lord. Oh, my God.
His zest for life is amazing. His desire to live is amazing.
Changed my Every day I feel grateful, every day. A lot of people made this happen. And then once you've gone through it, you want to help somebody too. You know, I sent somebody to Indiana because of you.
You did?
I did.
Before I turn my computer on every day, I say a short prayer, and I pray that that day I will be able to touch somebody's life. And in Patrick's case, I have touched his life, and he has touched mine.
I can't believe you're here. I want to know that. I have 3 birthdays. I was born August 3rd, and then I had another birthday November 4th, and then I have another birthday July 3rd. Those are all my birthdays. And I get cake on every one of them.